Hello there. Hey, it's James Arnold Taylor, and I'm going to take you on a tour of JAT Studios. So I'm just on my little vlogging camera here, so the sound's probably not great and stuff. I apologize, this isn't the normal JAT quality that I like. But this is, yeah, so that's the area I normally vlog from. But let's go on a tour of JAT Studios. Look at, I got a little... I got a beanie on, boy, thing there. Okay, anyway, sorry. Yes, I am squirrel. I am distracted easily, as you can see. Let's take a journey and let's tour JAT Studios. But to do so, I think we need to turn some lights on, okay? So we can actually see it all. But that's the way I normally have it. I have all the lights down low. Welcome to the studio. So this is, here, let's go from the beginning. Whoa! Come with me. So you walk in to the studio in my house. Not going to show you the rest of my house. And then, let me turn some lights on. Turn more lights on. So, you walk into JAT Studios, and this is what you get. You get over there, that's where I vlog. And then, see that wall? That wall was done with using panels I got from AudiMute, and you do all of those individually. They're pretty cool. And then you go over here, and that's the control room and the voiceover booth. And yep, there's my sword of Theoden from The Lord of the Rings. I love Theoden, King Theoden. That was a gift from my wife at Christmas one year. And then, so we come in, and here's kind of like, okay, so yeah, so the vlogging area, desk area with all, I have a computer there that, I do a lot of writing on that computer. I find that if I'm writing a movie script or something, I like sitting there and writing. I have a laptop that runs all of this stuff. So what do I got here? I've got my Rodecaster video, and that's on a little swing out arm. So when I'm shooting my videos here, then it all is on the screen. I don't have any of it turned on right now. I guess I should have turned it on for you all to see, but that's that view. And then, so I've got that big light. That's what gives me that nice look there. And I'm using different cameras. So I have several Canon 90Ds that I have hooked up on arms like this. I don't know if you can see it. It's all on the arms, and they're all bolted to this desk, which is bolted to the wall. And then I have another one, and it's got a prompter on it, the Elgato prompter, which, again, I'm a little hot and cold with on that. But, yep. Oh, and look at, who's there? There. There's Jesus. Okay. Anyways, I've got, a friend of mine gave me that. Actually, my friend Chloe Babis, her and her husband came to visit, and she hid little Jesuses all over my studio when they left. So there's a boom mic. That is a Sennheiser 416, and it's a shotgun mic. I don't love Sennheiser 416s for voiceover work. I love them for boom micing and stuff. They're great for that, but I do use them if I'm on the road. So then over here, I've just kind of rigged up an old ladder to hold up some gear and stuff. Oh, and then this, see, when I was doing publicity for the King of Kings, I would put this up on a thing, and then I could sit there, and it was like just floating there with me. And that was that. So we've just been doing, you know, the King of Kings is now on streaming on the Angel Studios app. So if you're a guild member, you can watch it for free there. Here is, yeah, a wall. This picture, I don't have, maybe I'll do a cut in. I'll have to do a cut in. That photo is a gift from Disney when I hosted the first year of Star Wars weekends the first year that I hosted, which was 2011. And you can see there, so Ashley and I there, and Daniel Logan, and Anthony Daniels, Sir Anthony, and Dave Filoni, and George Lucas, and Bob Iger. That was an interesting day, actually. That was actually a very famous day, because what happened on that day was the morning that George Lucas and Bob Iger had breakfast and talked about them buying Star Wars. And so backstage on that event, that was the opening of Star Tours, the new Star Tours. And that was the first year, and it was the first day of me hosting Star Wars weekends. And so it was a very interesting moment, because I was backstage. Just it was me, Ashley, Dave Filoni, George Lucas, and Bob Iger, all of us standing together for about a half hour chatting. And George was selling him on Clone Wars, and I couldn't figure out why he was selling him so hard. Of course, it wasn't until actually a couple years later that we found out but that was the day that all happened. So it's kind of a famous moment in time captured right there. And so that I have to figure out a place. I used to have it hanging up, and I was going to hang it on this wall, but because this wall is really cool. See, it's actually recycled paper. And so it's really cool, but I don't necessarily want to put a nail through all that. So I'm trying to figure out where I can hang it in the room, because I used to have it up. So now it's just there. And then, what do we got here? This is a cabinet that I hold a bunch of gear in. But look at that. There's some pictures of me with people. Everybody from, here, let me flip this down so I can see. There's me and Ewan McGregor. That's cool. I met him once, very, very briefly. It was for that picture. Smile, and then that was it. There's me and my family at a Comic-Con. There's me and my other family, my Star Wars family, Ashley and Matt. And me and Ashley, Matt, and Anna Graves, the Duchess Satine. There's me and my buddy Matthew Buds, who I write movies with and produce stuff with. And there's Ashley and Matt and I on stage at a Comic-Con. That's pretty fun, huh? Pretty cool stuff. Okay, and then, sorry, the lighting is kind of bad here. Here's the Flash, Lego Flash. Did you know I'm Lego Flash? I've been Lego Flash for many years. Although we haven't done anything with Lego Flash in a while. I've probably told this story a million times, but this suit actually was made for me for Star Wars weekends, and it fits me. It was made for me, and actually in the back has a big Velcro strap, and you can just, I would stand there. So I would go out on stage in that at the end of the night before we did the big show called Summon the Force, which was a big fireworks show and an extravaganza. And I would come out on stage in that, and then I would go, hey, everybody's been taking pictures. Let's look at what you posted on Instagram today. And then I would run backstage. I'd stand like this, and they'd rip this suit off of me because it was all Velcro in the back. And then I had my other suit on underneath it, and I'd come back out, hey, welcome. And I'd do all that in about 60 seconds or so while they showed that. This is tons of stuff here. Let me see. I can flip this camera down, sorry, so you can all see what's in here. What is in here? Oh, these are, some of you may even notice and recognize some of your stuff. A lot of these things are gifts that people have given me through the years. That's pretty cool. Look at all the Lego Obi-Wans. Hello there. Hello there. Look at all the wonderful art and gifts and things that people have given me. These are some more things there. Oh, look at, hello there. And some statues I have from Ratchet and Clank. That's from Deadlocked, and that's just from, that was when the new movie, the movie came out, and they did that. There's a little something from Gabriel and the Guardians. Look at that. Oh, look at, hello there. There's some coasters. There's my my very cool custom-made Obi-Wan pop in the Mando armor. And that's very cool. That was given to me by a very cool fan. And I've shown that and told that story before. Let's see if I can go down here. Here's a bunch of DVDs and stuff of movies and things I've been in with a lot of action figures of a lot of my characters. Everybody from Milo Thatch to Spider-Man to Fred Flintstone, Leonardo the Flash, Green Lantern, all in between. There's some lightsabers. There's a little Scum and Villainy sign there. There's my name tag for the 501st. Thank you, everybody. I'm a member there. Okay. What do we got? Some more stuff here. Some more Obi-Wan stuff. This is Adam, Alpha Teens on Machines. I was the main character on that show. That was a fun show. We only did a few seasons of it, though. There's Yondu and Cosmo from Guardians of the Galaxy, not Gabriel and the Guardians. Then what do we got down here? We've got lots of things. I still need to find some places for it, but I have many, many plaques and things from all the various clubs and groups that have made me an honorary member. So there's many plaques down there. I need to find more places to put all of them, and I'm so honored. It's just, we have, ever since we moved, whoops, I'm still kind of putting things together here in the house, you know what I mean? And, okay, yep. And, whoops, now I'm just gonna have to flip it all back around. Here's another one. This fit me as well. I came out on stage for the Rebels show at Star Wars Weekends with that armor on, and yes, I am a little short for a Stormtrooper, and that was the joke we did, but they made that, and they had to actually cut down and make a special Stormtrooper outfit that would fit me, because they didn't have any that would fit somebody that, I'm 5'4", I'm pretty small, so yeah. Anyways, let's go into this cabinet now and see what we got here. We've got more action figures and stuff. I usually try to sign them all. I haven't signed everything, but I signed most of them. That way, if anything ever happens to me, my daughter at least has them all signed by me. That's the way I figure it. Some more stuff back behind all those pops. You'll see there's a bunch of video games that I was in. Lilo and Stitch. I was actually Dr. Habitrail in that. Shrek 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. There's a ton of Shrek games I was in. Ratchet and Clank, Princess Bride game, Pirates of the Caribbean, Despicable Me. I was the voice of all the minions in that. Spider-Man, Friend or Foe. I was Spider-Man in that. Look at Dissidia. Oh yeah, and then Siphon Filter, the game series Siphon Filter. Did you know I was Gabe Logan? I was Gabe Logan. I was the second Gabe Logan, actually. And I did his voice in 3 or 4 games, I think. Sorry about the noise. There's a Johnny Test hiding in there somewhere. There's these are pieces from my show, the JAT Show. And yes, that is a fruit cup. And there's a story behind that. But there's many different lightsabers. And my friend Ricky Borba gave me that fruit cup. He had a dream where I was being fruits of the spirit and being a light to other people in the world. And so he got me a fruit cup to remind me to be the fruit of the Spirit of God. So that was very sweet. Some more memorabilia here. These are things that Disney gave me after hosting Star Wars Weekends. Of course, I am Hiccup. Whenever Jay Baruchel is not Hiccup, I've actually voiced more Hiccup than even Jay has. It's funny. It's just like with Obi-Wan. When you're the voice double for so many people, you end up doing more because I've done all the games and the shows and the scratch tracks for everything. So through the years, I've voiced quite a bit of Hiccup for How to Train Your Dragon, as well as Fish Legs for Christopher Mintz-Plasse. So down below there, what are those shoes? Those shoes are from when I hosted, the last time I hosted Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim. And I was the host on the main stage. And I interviewed Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill and Ian McDermott and the cast of Rebels and such. And I had my good friend Joe Hogan, who's an amazing Star Wars artist, draw them all on the shoes. And then I had them sign them. And so they're all signed and stuff. Here, I'll get it out. I'll show you. Hang on. So like, for example, this is the Mark Hamill one. So he drew Luke Skywalker, and then Mark signed the shoe. And one of the deals I had, originally I was like, I can donate them to charity or something. But one of the deals that Mark actually had me agree to is that I wouldn't give them away. I wouldn't sell them or anything. And I wouldn't give them even to charity. He wanted me to just keep it because, each thing, they all sign. It's very important to keep track of that. And he didn't want it to be out there, for something and then have to, yes, that's really it. So it was a gift to me as the host, and that was very sweet. And so there you go. But now we move into the control room for my recording studio. It's going to be a long video. Sorry, I hope you guys are okay with all the camera movement too. I apologize. It's a little bouncy. So this is the control room, and this is where I do all of the editing and such on the computer. I use Pro Tools, and I use Premiere Pro, the Creative Cloud and such, when I edit my videos and such for YouTube and such. And then over here, so I do all that. And this is a new desk that I found that I really like. I stand when I work. I always love standing. So that was important to me. Over here, this is my mic cabinet. A lot of different microphones. Look at that. Lots of microphones. Everything. SC Electronics. Love SC Electronics. I do a lot of their commercials for them. I do voiceover for them, and they'll give me microphones as payment. And so that's pretty good. When you can get paid in a microphone, that's pretty good. But I'll tell you what, I love their microphones. They're beautiful mics. And then they're also just amazing sounding mics and very affordable. So if you're looking for a great microphone, one of my favorites right here is the SC Electronics 2200A. That's a great mic. It's a beautiful mic. Sounds fantastic. Okay, so then lots of different microphones there. Neumann's, Gefell, Sennheiser, Studio Projects, Audio-Technica. Many different ones. MXL, lots of different mics. So that's my mic case. That holds a lot of stuff. And then this room has sound absorption throughout it. And then we have up on the ceiling, see? There's absorption and with a little diffusion and whisper waves there. I have double doors here. Oh, so the window, I put this in myself. Bought this from a company that makes these windows specifically for studios. And so it's a double window, and there's space in between it, and that side I'll show you is at an angle so the sound doesn't slap back at you in the booth, because that's really important. Let's go over some of my gear. So I still hold on to a couple of preamps that are classic preamps, although now I've switched over to an Apollo 4, and I use that for most of my preamps built into the computer now in Pro Tools. I have a Mac Studio, and then I have several different hard drives. This is a 48 terabyte. Yeah, 48 terabyte hard drive. This is a 32 terabyte hard drive. Lots of stuff I keep on. This one right here holds my entire movie Hidden Blessings. And then I have backups of all of them. So these two drives are redundant drives. They're RAID drives. So they are redundant. What it means is that they copy everything twice. So I have backups of backups of backups. So if something fails, hopefully I have another one to back that up. Anyways, so yeah, that's the gear I use. Coming into the booth, let me turn off this fan. Hello there. Oh, there's Obi-Wan. Now see, I have to put, people always ask what do you put, and it's a Skywalker Ranch hat. I put a hat on Obi-Wan because when I'm in here doing Zoom calls and stuff, see, the camera will actually focus in on his face. And my camera on my Zoom calls follows me. So if I move around in the room, it follows me and it does that. But it tracks from your face. So when I'm in the booth with Obi-Wan, it thinks he's real. Whoops, I dropped that hat. And it'll track his face. So if I go over here, it stays and zooms in on him. So I have to put a baseball cap, sorry, old Obi-Wan, on his face when I'm doing sessions. And then that lightsaber lights up. It gets really hot, that saber, so I don't always keep it on because it gets really hot. But so here we are in the booth, and I've done videos of the booth in here before, but this side is what I talk into, and this is all the diffusion. I get these panels from GIK Acoustics. GIK Acoustics is a great place. These ones I get from AudiMute. They're a great place as well. All the sound absorption on these two walls is from AudiMute. And then up on my ceiling, I have diffusion. That's actually bamboo. You can't get those anymore. They don't make them anymore, but they were made by Auralex. They were fantastic. I love them. But so diffusion everywhere, high ceilings. These ceilings are 9 feet, which is pretty great. The walls are about 18 inches thick in most spots of this room, except for this wall is more like about I think a foot. Yeah, it's a foot thick. And then from there, see, it goes to there. So there's absorption in here, and I used hemp wool to fill the walls. Why did I use hemp instead of regular insulation? Well, for one, it's cleaner, it's a renewable resource, it's, eco-friendly, but it also doesn't have any of the fiberglass and all the junk, all the chemicals in it, which I'm very sensitive to. I wanted my booth to be a place that was chemical-free as much as possible. And so all of these items they use, like recyclable newspaper and such, and then and not a lot of harsh chemicals or toxins or stains on any of the things. So it's important to me that the room has a clean thing to it. And the hemp actually smells a bit like oatmeal. So when I walk in this room, it smells like oatmeal. How cool is that? So this is my booth. So I have a touch screen here. I can control the screen here from that. That's a Raven Slate touch screen. I have an iPad here for all my scripts. And then I have an iPad there that does all my Zoom calls. So I like to have my Zoom separate from the computer. That way, if there's any problems with the computer, because usually I'm running a program called like Source Connect or IPDTL or one of these ones for patching in. So I like to not disrupt the bandwidth of that, even though I have a very powerful computer and I have 1 gig up and down on my wired internet. I still use the Zoom separately on the wireless for the Zoom calls, because usually it's just video and we're patching in for sound through the other. So I do it that way so it doesn't interrupt, it doesn't bog down my computer. And I find that it works. And then I like the iPad because, again, the iPad has that camera that follows me around. So there you go. So this is the booth. This is the control room. This is what we call the upper room here. And I got a bunch of old gear here too. I've got a cassette deck and a DAT player, digital audio tape. That's what we used to master things on. I still have boxes and boxes in another room of that stuff. And there you go. This is my space. Let me hear. I'll turn that light off. We'll go back to square one. And this is where I normally am when I vlog. And I hope that you enjoyed this little tour of JAT Studios, and I hope that you would subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me lower that. And I thank you for joining me here, and I hope it's been enjoyable. If you have questions or anything, hey, what kind of mics and all that, feel free to put some comments down below, and then next time I do like a live stream or something, I'll try to answer those, or I'll try to answer them on my podcast. If you haven't subscribed, and if you don't listen to my podcast, it's called Talking to Myself. Please check it out sometime. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to this channel, and please spread the word wherever you can. Please like and subscribe and all that. Check out my IMDb as well if you get a chance. And I thank you all so much for hanging out with me on a little JAT studio tour. Goodbye there.